CJP Protest and the Truth of Face Surveillance. At around 11 o'clock at night, slogans had dimmed on the road of Jantar Mantar, but the eyes of the cameras were still open. Some students were sitting on the ground, someone was charging a phone, someone was trying to dry rain-soaked clothes, and the dark glass window of a police van standing in front was watching them silently. A girl suddenly asked her friend, "If my face got recorded today, will my identity also remain saved somewhere tomorrow?" This question that night was not just hers. Because a protest can end, a minister can change, a crowd can return home, but if the face becomes data, does the movement really end? Delhi's Jantar Mantar is no ordinary road. Angry citizens have been bringing their voice here for years, like a small pressure valve of democracy. But this time, the story was not merely of slogans, placards, and the stage. This time, the debate got stuck on the thing which looks like a camera, but does the work of remembering. The student-led movement of CJP, that is, Cockroach Janata Party, made exam leaks and accountability of the education system a national issue. Several international reports also stated that after the protest, Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan resigned. Reuters and AP called it a big victory of the youth movement. But the sweetness of victory had not even completely settled when a new question arose. Was the surveillance of people involved in this movement merely security, or something beyond that? The place which till yesterday was the voice of dissent, that very place suddenly became a debate of digital tracking. And this very twist took this whole story to the courtroom. Former JNUSU President 𝐼𝐨𝐥𝐿 filed a PIL in the Delhi High Court. The petition alleged that protesters were constantly monitored through permanent surveillance towers and high-tech police vans at Jantar Mantar. Bar and bench connected this petition with privacy and peaceful protest rights. Now here the question seems very simple. It is a public place, there is a protest, there is police, there is a camera. Then how did it become a privacy issue? This is the place where the story flips. Because appearing in a public place and being stored as an identity in a system are not the same two things. Suppose you walk on the road. 100 people see you. After a few minutes, everyone forgets. But the camera does not forget. And if that same camera is connected with facial recognition, it does not just see your face. It turns it into a pattern. The distance between your eyes, shape of the nose, cheekbones, jawline, face angle, skin texture all together can form a digital signature. Then this signature is matched with some database. If a match comes, the system says, perhaps this is the person. But the word perhaps is the real fear. Because even a machine's doubt can sometimes become a human's trouble. If misidentification happens, a peaceful protester can suddenly be treated like a suspect. And even if correct identification happens, still the question remains how long the data will stay. The claim of the petition was just this, that surveillance did not remain limited only to the stage or crowd control. Moments like eating, resting, and medical help could also come under the camera's eye. Meaning, the protester does not remain merely a political actor. He is a tired human too, a sick citizen too, a soaking woman too, and the camera catches every role in the same frame. From right here comes the question of dignity. Because in a democracy, a citizen has the right to raise a voice, but will he also have to accept the fear of being seen constantly? The story of the police and government is different. They say that videography at protest sites is a routine practice for law and order. Delhi police sources said that the purpose of the facial recognition system is not to target genuine protesters, but to identify wanted criminals, absconders, and habitual offenders. NDTV reported that cameras were installed at entry and exit points. This argument sounds practical to hear. A crowd of thousands, high tension, political pressure, risk of any incident. Police says that if something goes wrong, footage becomes evidence. But petitioners ask, if the risk is from a few people, why should the whole crowd be made a searchable face bank? This is the uncomfortable question of democracy. Security always fights visible danger, but privacy invisible risk. On one side, police says that camera gives safety. On the other side, protesters say that camera creates fear. And fear does not always come from arrest. Many times fear comes from the possibility that someone might put you on a list. Some student needs a scholarship, someone has to give a job interview, someone has to get passport verification done. If he feels that appearing in a protest can become a future problem, he will choose to remain silent. In the language of law, this is called a chilling effect. The right remains on paper, but fear stops from using it. And this point makes this case a constitutional debate from ordinary policing, because the right to protest is meaningful only when a citizen can use it without unnecessary fear. The Constitution of India gives protection of speech and peaceful assembly. But every right is not absolute. Public order, security and law enforcement are also the responsibility of the state. The real fight is not right versus police. The real fight is of proportion. How much surveillance is necessary, for how long, for what purpose, under which authority? This proportionality test is the heartbeat of privacy law. The state has to show that the action is legal, for a legitimate aim necessary, and a less intrusive option was not available. The 2017 Puttaswamy Judgment is the backbone of this debate. The Supreme Court considered privacy a fundamental right and said that privacy is not completely surrendered by coming into a public place. This line is very big in this matter. Because Jantar Mantar is public, but a protester's face, identity and association can still be personal information. Now comes another hidden layer. India has a data protection law, but for use cases like facial recognition by police, debate on very specific guardrails is still ongoing. Indian Express, while reporting on this controversy, wrote that a dedicated framework regulating facial recognition and AI surveillance by law enforcement in India is not yet clear. This very vacuum makes one most anxious. Technology is fast, camera is ready, database is big, but accountability often comes later. The most dangerous part of facial recognition is its silence. No officer stops you. No one makes you fill a form. No one asks for consent. You just walk, and your face can pass through an invisible process. You do not even come to know whether a match happened or not. If some match turned out wrong, will there be an appeal? If footage is irrelevant, when will it be deleted? If data got leaked, whose responsibility will it be? These questions are not technical, they are human. Because behind every face there is a family, career, fear and reputation. The angle of women's privacy also becomes serious from here. It was stated in the petition that recording of women continued amidst rain and inadequate arrangements. Here the issue is not just of the camera, it is of sensitivity. Even in a public place, human dignity does not end. At a protest site there can be elderly people too, disabled people too, sick students too, some youth going through a panic attack too. If every vulnerable moment is being recorded, the line between law and order and personal dignity becomes even blurrier. The government said in court that privacy claim is ironical in a public protest because protesters themselves put videos on social media and media also does recording. But here the counter question is deep. Putting a video oneself and continuous recording being done by the state is not the same thing. When a citizen puts a clip from his phone, he controls his story. When the state system records, control goes to the other side. And this control is the real currency of this case. Who is watching? Why is he watching? For how long is he watching? And what is the future of data? For police, a crowd is a security challenge. For a protester, that same crowd is a constitutional expression. The camera stands between these two realities. One side sees evidence, the other side feels surveillance. Now imagine, some young student has come to a protest for the first time. He feels that he is raising a voice for the country's education system. He goes back home, parents ask, "Did you come in the camera?" This question immediately makes activism a personal risk. This is the real-life shape of the chilling effect. In the courtroom it is a doctrine, at home it is anxiety. And if this fear settles in society that every protest attendance can become a future file, the quietest weapon of democracy will become weak. But the other side of the story also cannot be completely ignored. In large gatherings, sometimes there are genuine security threats too. If there is violence in some protest, property damage, or some wanted person hides in the crowd, police needs tools. The issue is not the existence of the tool. The issue is who has the lock on the tool, what is the limit, and who will oversee. Any powerful technology cannot be left merely on good intention. Because institutions change, governments change, data remains. Today it is at a protest site, tomorrow it can be at a campus gate, day after tomorrow at a metro entry, then in some rally, some strike, some march. From right here the question becomes big. Should a citizen know when his biometric data is being collected? Should the police tell which database it is, what the retention period is, what the process is on a false match? Should there be an independent audit? Should there be court-monitored safeguards? Should data of non-suspect protesters be deleted immediately? These things might sound boring, but this is the plumbing of freedom. Not visible, but the system becomes leak-proof from these very things. The Delhi High Court will now see this balance. The court has to decide whether the surveillance of Jantar Mantar was within the scope of law or went beyond it. This decision will not be just for CJP protesters. Its impact can be felt on every coming protest, every student movement, and every public gathering. Because today the question is of CJP, tomorrow it will be of some farmer, then of some employee union, then of some ordinary citizen. The biggest twist is just this, that facial recognition has not remained a technology only to find criminals. It has become a machine testing trust in society. If the public has trust that technology is limited, lawful and accountable, it can become a safety tool. But if people feel that the camera will remember them to punish in the future, that same technology can dim the voice of democracy. Therefore, the real debate is not whether there should be a camera or not. The real debate is whether behind the camera sits the constitution or just unchecked power. On that night at Jantar Mantar, slogans had stopped, but a question remained in the air. Is joining a protest now just raising a voice, or handing over one's face to the system? And perhaps the answer to this very question will decide whether in the coming time, citizens will fear looking at the camera or trust looking at the law.
If this video has taught you something new, or if you feel this information should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video. Your small share can become valuable and useful information for someone else. If you have any questions related to this topic, or if you would like to share your opinion with us, be sure to write in the comment box. We read every question and suggestion from you, because your feedback inspires us to create better content. And if you want to keep receiving such interesting and reliable information about business, the economy, and the world in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel GRT Business and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video directly. At GRT Business, we always strive to provide you with accurate, balanced, and reliable information. Our news and analysis are prepared based on information obtained from various news agencies, public sources, and public opinion. We make every effort to verify and validate each fact as much as possible, but in case of any possible error or dispute, the responsibility lies with the respective sources. Our only aim is to present you with a correct and trustworthy perspective so that you can understand any topic better.